Real quick sketch. Hello, Don. Yes, I'm back already. Thanks for joining me. And this is going to be a quick sketch of the Statue of Liberty. Now, the funny part here is I actually have a vision, if you will, for doing this in my traditional acrylics and oil. And doing a sketch right now in gouache does not easily lend itself to gouache. So we'll just see. I better start thinking about anatomy here. I'm about to mess this all up. By the way, did you see in the news that oh, Sandra, okay. Well, thank you for clarifying that. Whoever my followers have turned out to be so far, we tend to have a good time, and a number of them have turned into good internet friends, if you know what I mean by that. Now, I'm happy to report that I'm the kind of person that has many real life flesh and blood friends as well. But I do indeed have a whole new host of friends on YouTube, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Thank you, Barbara. Hey, you guys, I don't know how many of you watch, let me zoom out here. Now, Fine Art Academy, that's a blog, that's a YouTube channel you ought to be subscribed to. A New Masters Academy, that's what I'm looking for. New Masters Academy. And there is one video in particular, I'm forgetting the man's name all of a sudden, but you can find it. It's like 2.5 hours long, where he talks about the anatomy of the head. And I've watched most of it with little kids running around me. I'm looking forward very much to watching it again, without so many distractions. Just all of a sudden drawing this Statue of Liberty head at such a strange angle reminded me, ooh, I wish I'd paid more attention to that guy. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time getting this exactly correct. In my traditional medium, acrylic oil, I want to have some very strong, energetic strokes going through the Statue of Liberty, probably like orange, a big orange Z, boom, 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 or crisscross, something like that. How do I know I want to do that? It's hard to say. Sometimes our intuition as artists really outpaces our ability to articulate. Have you ever noticed that? Sometimes you know what you're going to do, and you don't know exactly how you know. With your videos, the Academy is... Oh, come on. Thank you. You flatter me. I appreciate the flattery. Please keep the flattery coming. One of the things I learned some things about YouTube. I did a bunch of research yesterday, and they've changed YouTube, and I like the changes they've made. They've made it a little bit more community-oriented, dare I say, a little bit more Facebooky in this regard, and that we publishers, can now publish not just videos, but comments and photographs. And that is huge, because up until now, every time you'd watch me do a painting, sometimes for 2 or 3 hours, and then you'd never see the finished painting because there was no way on YouTube to post just the finished painting. Well, I'm happy to say now there is. So that's one thing I plan to take advantage of. Another thing that you can do is post, of course, comments, surveys. I think I'm going to do a survey, because today, I mentioned a little while ago that I spent about 2 or 2.5 hours online looking for images that I want to paint. I ended up with 19 images, and I'd love to take a survey and ask you guys which of those images you'd like me to tackle first. Fair enough? There was something else I was going to say, though, about YouTube and posting comments. Well, I can post the finished image. I'll stop right there. That's a real advantage. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I'm going to post my favorite YouTube channels for artists. I realize I probably, not everybody, but I probably spent more time, looking at the competition, quote unquote, probably more than most of you have. Because I have a professional interest in what others are doing. And I'm going to list some of my favorite art YouTube videos. I can tell you right now, one of them is one simply called Proko, Proko. When I first stumbled on him several months ago, he's disgustingly young for how good he is. Do you follow me? Disgustingly young for how excellent he is. I discovered after watching him for a while that, he's a student of Jeffrey Watts' atelier out in California. And so all of a sudden, that makes sense. Okay, he studied with Jeff Watts. So I've just given you two YouTube channels that if you're an artist and you want to learn stuff, two channels that you should check out. One is Proko, Proko. And of course, like all of these channels, they have stuff that you can get for free and then more stuff that you can pay for. By the way, I am going to start doing something roughly similar to that. I can't give you all the details right now, but it's going to be, I've finally figured out what I want to do for premium friends on YouTube. And it has to do with a lot of community. It is, Barbara, indeed. What a fantastic, I mean, can you believe it? The advantage that we have in this day that our ancestors couldn't even have comprehended. My dad, who was a good artist, just couldn't imagine what we're doing today, I'm sure. So two that I've given you. I was starting to tell you what I'm going to do is going to be very community oriented. That is to say, it's going to be a group activity. I'm going to have people live in a studio, and you all, if you join the $5 a month or $10 a month, I don't know what it's going to be, then you get to send in your artwork and participate in our weekly Painters Forum. A Painters Forum is a format that I've been actively a part of in Raleigh for 28 years, and before that I was in Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth actually, and participated in the Dallas Society of Illustrators. So really it's been nearly 40 years that I've been a part of a local painters group, and I find it so valuable. So I really want to take that kind of thing and offer it to my viewers on YouTube. That is, we'll have a group of anywhere from 4 to 12 people in a studio. I expect I'll be working with them directly, hands-on, and then up to 15 or 20. It'll be a very limited group, 15 or 20 of you who pay, $10 a month or something like that. There'll probably be different levels of participation. There'll be 15 or 20 of you who will be able to participate, literally, webcam. As long as you have a smartphone, you can participate with us. And I'm really excited about that. I've been mulling over for months and months, what product do I want to offer online to my students who want more of me, so to speak. And I'm very excited about finally coming up with an answer that I'm very, very happy about. I'll announce more of that later, of course, and we'll take it a step at a time and try to work out the bugs as we go. I was going to mention a couple YouTube videos. I'm going to post a whole list on YouTube, but let me give you a couple right now. I already mentioned one, Proko, Proko, who studied with Jeff Watts. And Jeff Watts is another one that you should watch, Watts Atelier, and then there's New Masters Academy and Fine Art Academy. Both of those, excellent. And again, they all have things that you can pay for, but they have tons of stuff for free, just like I do. And oh, and another oh, I'm glad I didn't forget to mention, Draw Mix Paint by Mark Carter, Carder. Draw Mix Paint by Mark Carter. Fascinating and just information packed. Talk about great information for free. Mark Carter just knocks it out of the ballpark. Now, he's another one of those who had a name and a following way before YouTube came along. And he was the official portrait painter of both President Bushes. So he was a very well-established artist. I get a kick out of him because he is so different from me. Like half the things I say, he disagrees with. Or maybe I should put it the other way around. Half the things he says, I disagree with. But I hope you hear my heart in that. I don't disagree in a serious, grumpy way at all. I understand very much the kind of, what he's doing, and I applaud it and enjoy it. I just have a very different approach to painting than he does. And of course, I think everybody should be watching. If we're just talking about YouTube, you should watch many different kinds of people. Of course, I hope I'm your favorite. Yes, that goes without saying. If I'm not your favorite, I don't want to hear about it. Just keep that to yourself. Yes, Mark Carter is some kind of genius. Is that who you're talking about, Mark Carter? He is. I'll say this much. He has a more typical artist personality. I'll just leave it at that. Lest I be thought to be slandering his good name. But I have an alternative artist personality, and I'm very glad for that because that allows me to do what I'm doing right now. Which is what? Well, messing up for one thing. Nah, just kidding. Okay, let's do a little bit. Was he? He was a professor at Goldsmiths. Mark Carter you're talking about, right? Yeah, well, he acts like a professor. And again, I love his stuff. Yeah, his content is just spectacular. I'm going to do just a tiny bit of drawing on this, just because I like the comment. Now you see what happened when I dragged a wet brush. I don't mind that I messed that up. It was a little bit too tight for my taste, but I'm intentionally messing up my painting here, adding more movement of my hand, kinesthetic elements to the painting. Thank you, Barbara. We we will. Thank you that I can paint and talk at the same time. Now the next question is, can I paint any good? The jury's still out on that, isn't it? I'll try not to mess up too bad. Okay, last thing I'm going to do on this quick sketch is some light highlights. You can see I'm trying not to be too careful in my marks. If here's a good rule of thumb: if your marks are, and usually that means brush strokes. In this case, it means brush and pencil. If your brush strokes or marks are too careful and precise, then people are going to demand a higher level of similitude, of realism. Does that make sense? But if your marks are more expressive, looser, then they demand their brain. I don't mean they're not even aware of what they're doing, but their mind demands a lower degree of similitude. And that's sort of what I'm trying to do here. This painting started out pretty hard edge and tight, but I've come in here in the last few minutes and just added, first of all, some messy pencil lines, and now I'm adding some messy highlights. And I'm liking the feel of it somewhat better than I did. Now I have, drawing issues here. I didn't want to take time to try to get my anatomy all perfect, so I just whacked it. I think I'm done, don't you? Yeah. Let's do the fun reveal. We'll take this off together and see how it looks. I do think I'm going to do this as a large painting. In fact, I would love to do this as a 3 by 4 foot painting. As I mentioned earlier, with a lot of color in it. I can see oranges and purples in my mind. For some reason, that's what my intuition is talking to me about this Statue of Liberty painting. It's such a familiar icon to Americans that it would be real easy to keep it too traditional, and I certainly don't want to do that. So there is my Statue of Liberty. Hang on, I'll try to get it straight for you. Good enough? Thanks for watching. Here again, here's the photograph. The painting's supposed to be better. Not more accurate, just more interesting. Okay? And if I have time, I'll do another one.